So the next company is represented by Faisal Rahman. Faisal is a World Economic Forum young global leader. He founded Fair Finance as a social enterprise to challenge unfair lending practices in London. He has 15 years of microfinance experience, including work at the Muhammad Yunus Grameen Bank as the first microfinance experience in the UK. Faisal?
Hi.
Hey.
Thank you. Can I?
Sure.
Brilliant. Thanks very much. First of all, thank you for inviting me.
It's just behind the gray bubble.
It's hidden over there. I'll stand over here. Thank you very much for inviting me. It's a real honor to be here, and especially an honor to be standing alongside such an illustrious panel. I want to talk about how you can get to 10 million people in the United Kingdom without competing with other banks. I want to talk about getting to 50 million people in the European Union without competing with other banks. I want to talk today, just very quickly, about a business, a social business that I started on the back of a credit card that now turns over millions. And I want to talk to you about how you can help me make that step change to getting into billions rather than just millions. When you think about the United Kingdom, you don't really think about financial exclusion. Microfinance is the last thought that would go through your mind. But I want to share with you that there is another side of society in the United Kingdom, a side of society for whom the word credit crunch has been a reality nearly all of their lives. Nearly 10 million people have limited access to mainstream financial services. These are people who don't use the banks for their primary sources of capital. These are the people who borrow from a guy who comes to your door, legally and legitimately, often charging many hundreds or thousands of % APR. There are 4 to 5 million people using these borrowers in the United Kingdom right now. There are a further 2 million using the very short-term payday lenders that Muhammad Yunus mentioned in America, but also really prevalent in the United Kingdom. There are a further 2 million who live in the cash economy who don't even have a bank account. And there's a 250,000 people for whom really it doesn't matter what you charge them. They'll break your legs if you don't repay. And these are the true loan sharks who are out there in this society in the United Kingdom. To think that this is the UK seems quite crazy. If I told you that many of these people choose to use these lenders, you'd be quite surprised. Most of our credit algorithms tell us that these are low-income, poor people who have no assets with bad credit history. If you lend to them, be prepared to charge this kind of rates. Otherwise, you won't get your money back. We can improve our methodology, but really, you're going to lose a lot of cash, so you need to charge a high rate. But if I told you that many people, even once they get in, still choose to use these lenders, you'd be quite surprised. You'd also be surprised if you found out that actually they get a better product than you might think. In many ways, they get a product that's accessible. It comes to their door. They know who they're dealing with. It's flexible. You can change the payment dates in a way that you can't with mainstream retail products. You pay by day, by week, by month, every Thursday, every Wednesday. You can change your payment structure whenever you need to. The doorstep lender doesn't mind. He comes to your house. If I told you that people thought these products were simple and honest, you might be surprised. But the reality is that a doorstep loan is not 400%. It's £20 a week, every week for 50 weeks. A payday loan is £30 100 every month. There's no hidden charges. There's no secret terms and conditions. It's all really transparent. It's all really straightforward. But if I told you that people felt that they were being treated with respect and that they've built relationships with these lenders, you might be surprised. But the reality is that many of these people aren't men with baseball bats and Rottweilers. They're members of your community. They're people you know. They're people you've engaged with. You've probably been recommended them by someone that you've engaged with, a family member or some such, a person you trust that tells you that this is quite a useful product. If you take a step back and think about it, what you've got here is a highly personalized, very flexible, bespoke, relationship-based product. There is another group in society who get exactly the same in their financial products, and that's the very rich. The only difference is that for the very rich, they can afford it, and for the very poor, it keeps them poor. I've taken these design principles and taken the best of my learnings of microfinance, the best that I could find in technology, and the best that I could find from these competitors to create an alternative, a human-centered banking approach based on branches in the United Kingdom, expanding, going from 10 people to 100, now to 10,000. And in the coming years, we're going to go to 100,000. We've seen a model that undercuts the competitors enormously. We charge 1/10 of what they do, and we have a bad debt rate of about 1/20 of what they achieve. Massive, massive impact for the people who are the most poorest and most excluded in the United Kingdom. This model works, and we're now expanding it into savings and into insurance, and hopefully into other products like pensions and other kind of things that all of us in society should get. And we do it sustainably. We borrow money. We raise investment. We do it in a way that actually gives people cash back, as well as proving to them that just because they're poor doesn't mean they're not creditworthy. But if we continue to grow at the rate that we're growing, which is 100% a year, it's going to take us 15 years to getting to 10 million people. 15 years in which time it's almost going to be a different market to the one that we see today. Although we're successful, and I believe that over that time, over these 15 years, we're going to have enough data to prove that this is an insurmountable group of people who need to be brought, who need financial services brought to them at affordable rates. The reality is that we are business as unusual. Algorithms still tell people that this shouldn't work. And because of that, I can't raise anything more than millions. Now, that might sound a lot, but really I want to raise billions, many billions. I want to raise billions so that we can get to 10 million people, not in 15 years, but in 5 years. And I hope that you can help me do that. I hope that you can help me raise the investment, appropriate investment, that doesn't compromise the mission, as well as debt, to scale the business. And I hope you share your people. Share us your know-how. You design products. You know what we're talking about. I want to do this as a joint venture, together, so that actually we can find a way to share in the benefits of what's going on. And I think that's probably the most important thing about what I'm trying to talk about, is that in some ways, if we can prove that we can make scalable financial products that are bespoke for the poorest and most excluded, perhaps that might inspire us to start thinking about how we build better products for everybody. For us, for all of us, relationship-based products that are based on values and who we are, the kind of products that might lead to a bit of a revolution in how we think about financial products, a revolution in how we start approaching how banking should engage with us, the types of choices it should make. And if I could leave you with just one thought, and if I could just paraphrase, I do believe that the future of banks, or the banks of the future, will probably be social businesses in the Western world with a banking license. And I'd really appreciate it if you join me to try and make this a reality in the UK. Thank you.
Thank you, Faisal.